You lift the carton to your face, and you smell it before your mind can even form the word. Sour. Wrong. Your head pulls back on its own, your nose wrinkles, your upper lip climbs toward it, and something at the very back of your throat tightens like a small door swinging shut. You didn't decide to do any of that. By the time you thought the word spoiled, your body had already finished the sentence for you. Now step back from the kitchen. Step back past this apartment, past the refrigerator humming behind you, past every clean and sealed and labeled thing in the room. Step back far enough that the fridge disappears and the shops disappear, and you are standing on open ground under a wide sky, with nothing to keep your food or your water or your body safe, except the senses you were born with. You have been taught to treat that little flinch as nothing, to call it being squeamish, picky, dramatic, too sensitive. You apologize for it, for gagging at the drain, for looking away when someone describes a wound, for the way your whole face folds when a friend tells the story of the thing that had gone bad. Somewhere along the way, you learned that disgust is a weakness, a fussiness, a thing that stronger people simply don't feel. But that flinch is one of the oldest guardians you carry. It is older than language, older than farming, older than the very idea of a kitchen. And the thing it was built to protect you from is something your ancestors never once saw with their own eyes. Hold on to that, because it is the whole secret of this feeling. For almost the entire human story, the deadliest thing in the world was invisible, and disgust was the only sense that could point straight at it. But how can a feeling protect you from something you can never see? More than 150 years ago, a naturalist named Charles Darwin sat and studied the exact face you just made. He noticed something strange about it. It looked the same on people who had never met, who had grown up oceans apart and shared no language at all. The wrinkled nose, the lifted lip, the head turning away, sometimes the tongue pushing out as if to spit invisible food from the mouth. No one had taught them that face. It was already there, the same shape, appearing at the same kind of thing, everywhere he looked. And that scrunched, narrowed face is not only an opinion your features are announcing. When researchers measured what the disgust expression actually does to the body, they found that it seals you. It narrows the eyes, it lowers how much air moves through the nose, it shrinks the world you take in. Compare it to fear, which throws the eyes wide and flares the nostrils to pull the whole threatening world in closer. Two ancient faces, one that opens the body to see the danger, and one that closes the body against it. Disgust is the face that shuts the doors. But what could be dangerous enough that your body evolved to face just to seal itself against it? A researcher named Paul Rozin spent much of his life on that question. He found that disgust follows a rule so strange it almost sounds like magic. Drop a single dead, sterilized insect into a glass of juice, then lift it back out, and you will not drink the juice, even though you truly know that nothing harmful is left in it. Shape a piece of clean fudge like something foul, and your hand will not bring it to your mouth, though you watched it made from a fresh block. Rozin called this the law of contagion. Once two things have touched, a part of one stays in the other, forever. To a mind that has never heard the word germ, that rule is almost a perfect defense. The thing that touched the rotten thing now carries the rot. Then a scientist named Valerie Curtis asked what all of it was for, and gathered reactions from many thousands of people across the world. The things that disgusted them most were not scattered or random, they clustered tightly. Bodily waste, rotting flesh, oozing sores, swarming insects, the smell and sight of sickness on another person's body. Which is to say, the precise signatures of things that carry infection. Disgust, she argued, is a disease-avoidance system wearing the costume of an emotion. And there is a name for the larger machine it belongs to. Before your blood ever learns to fight an invader, there is a faster and far cheaper defense. Simply never touch the thing at all. A researcher named Mark Schaller called this the behavioral immune system, a set of reactions, with disgust at its very center, that reads the surface of the world and yanks you backward before a single unseen thing can get inside. Your biological immune system is the soldier who fights once the enemy is already through the gate. Disgust is the wall, built long before the war. So stand back on that open ground for a moment and let it be real. There is meat from a kill 2 days old, and you are hungry, the deep, aching hunger that has no refrigerator to end it. One of your band leans in, too starving to care, and eats. You lean in too, and your nose catches something underneath the smell of food, something sweetish and wrong, and your whole body recoils and turns you away, still hungry, into the dark. For a few days, it looks as though hunger was the wiser choice. But by the next moon, the one who ate is bent double and burning and then gone, and you, the one who could not stand the smell, are still walking, still breathing, still alive to have children who inherit that same easily offended nose. Now multiply that single night by 10,000 generations. Every one of your ancestors won that quiet gamble enough times to live and pass it on. You are the descendant of the ones who flinched. And if disgust truly is a shield against disease, then it should grow strongest at the exact moment the body is most defenseless, shouldn't it? It does. A researcher named Daniel Fessler found that disgust tends to rise sharply in the early weeks of pregnancy, the very window when a woman's immune system quiets itself to protect the new life taking hold, and the tiny growing body is most fragile. The inner guard is lowered, and so the outer guard, the disgust, is raised to cover it. Here is the twist, though, the thing that turns this from a story about spoiled meat into a story about you. What if the smell was never the point at all? Disgust was never really about the smell. The smell is only the easiest clue. What the feeling is actually chasing is something you cannot see: the contamination, the contact, the unseen thing that spreads from one body to the next. That is why it obeys the strange rule of contagion, and why it can be set off by things that carry no germ at all: a photograph, a sentence, a single word spoken across a table. And a machine this powerful, once it exists, does not stay politely in the kitchen. It climbs upward, into the way you judge people and ideas and each other. Have you ever noticed how easily that word travels? Listen to the words you already use: a rotten person, a sick joke, a dirty deal. That makes me want to throw up. You never chose to speak that way. The oldest disease language inside you simply reaches for the nearest wrong thing and names it unclean. Researchers have watched that same recoil, the same folded face, aim itself not at bad food, but at people a group has decided to treat as impure. That is the long shadow of this gift. The wall that kept your ancestors alive can be pointed, and history is heavy with the harm done when one kind of person is taught to find another kind disgusting. The wall does not stop to ask what it is shutting out. Now come back, all the way back, to the clean and quiet room. Almost everything your disgust was built to fight is gone from it. The water is filtered, the meat is chilled, the wound is dressed by someone wearing gloves. But the guard does not know that the war is over. So where does all that ancient vigilance go in a world scrubbed this clean? It still stands at its full and ancient height, and so it fires at the mild and the harmless, the coworker's lunch 2 desks away, the texture of a food you've simply never tried, the small ick that quietly ends something good before it can begin. And because so little truly dangerous is left for it to find, the old alarm goes searching at strangers, at differences, at anything at all that happens to pattern match to wrong. So the next time your face folds and you feel that flush of embarrassment, understand what is really happening in you. It is not weakness. It is not you being delicate or dramatic or too much. It is a caretaker that has kept your line unbroken since before your species had a name, doing the single job it has ever known, trying with everything it has to keep something out of you. You are allowed to thank it, and you are allowed, gently, to question it too, because a guardian this old cannot always tell a true threat from a stranger who merely looks unfamiliar. Feeling the flinch is simply human. What you decide to do after it, that part has always been yours. So lift the carton one more time. Smell the sourness and feel your head pull back before you have chosen to. That small, involuntary flinch is not a flaw in you. It is 2 million years of the invisible dead, still warning you through a nose that has never once seen the thing it fears.